Yes, it's me, it's Benedict. Well, another season of reviews has come and gone, and we've seen many weird and wonderful things, especially from the Fleischer Studios. From Betty Boop to Superbad, from black and white to colour classics, they really did have quite the collection of instantly memorable cartoons. However, there is one certain someone I have neglected to mention.
Like Popeye the Sailor Man.
That's right, Popeye the Sailor. Originally debuting in newspaper comics for E.C. Segar's Thimble Theatre in 1929, Popeye eventually found a very welcome home in animated cartoons thanks to the Fleischer Studios. Starting off in Betty Boop's 1933 cartoon called, well, Popeye the Sailor, Popeye eventually took the baton as the Fleischer's headline act and remained Paramount's leading man for over 20 years, long after the Fleischer Studios were closed in the early 40s. Such was the success of Popeye that eventually the Fleischer brothers had their eye on giving the spinach-eating sailor a much longer form cartoon, and in November 1936 he got one. And in colour no less. It was, of course, Popeye the Sailor meets Sindbad the Sailor. That's a bit of a mouthful. Loosely based on the story of Sindbad from the 1001 Arabian Night stories, this two-reel cartoon was the first of 3 for Popeye in the 1930s, and it quite possibly would have been a full feature film if it weren't for Paramount thinking feature animation wouldn't be profitable. Now, a slight side note, Max and Dave did eventually make a feature film, Gulliver's Travels in 1939, of which an early draft reportedly had Popeye in the starring role. But that's a story for another day. For now, who's the most phenomenal and extraordinary fellow? Let's see, shall we? The film begins on a remote island known as the Isle of Sindbad, and we see its many, many dangerous beasts, all wearing collars, leashes and chained manacles, indicating they're at least someone's pets. And not just the standard billionaire's exotic pets either. When out of the fortress comes the big bad Sindbad, who looks remarkably like Bluto, Popeye's usual adversary, and his voice actor is German-born bass singer Gus Wicki.
I'm Sindbad the sailor, so hardy and hale. I live on an island on the back of a whale. It's a whale of an island, that's not a bad joke. Its lord and its master is this handsome bloke.
I'd question the use of the word handsome.
Oh, the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow. Sindbad the sailor.
So, Sindbad shows off his island, all with the Fleischer's usual 3D backgrounds, as well as all his extra exotic pets, including a 2-headed giant named Bula.
He'd frighten King Kong, but he's only my stool.
Man, those working conditions are almost as bad as Amazon's. As well as a giant bird known as the Rock, which is an actual creature from Middle Eastern mythology. Sindbad continues to show us through his Cuphead boss level, all while still singing his villain song.
I'm afraid of nobody under the sun. All I say is boo and my enemies run. Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow?
It's Popeye the Sailor Man.
Well, technically that is true. You don't get many men like Popeye. So Sindbad pulls out his telescope and spies none other than the man of the hour, Popeye the Sailor, voiced as usual by Jack Mercer, who would voice the character from 1935 up until his death in 1984. That is some serious dedication to voice a character for nearly 50 years.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
So yeah, he finds Popeye, as well as the hamburger-loving J. Wellington Wimpy, who was voiced by Lou Fleischer, Max and Dave's younger brother, who also ran the Fleischer Studios music department. Nothing like a bit of nepotism, eh? And Popeye's love interest, Olive Oil, voiced by Mae Questel, who was also the voice of Betty Boop.
Who fouls the air with a note so sour and dares to challenge Sindbad's power?
So Sindbad calls upon the Rock to make swift work of their ship.
But bring me the woman.
Because the male gaze demands it, apparently. Well, the big bird, with much trial and error, takes flight, and promptly makes a Titanic out of Popeye's ship.
I
And kidnaps Olive, of course, leaving Popeye and Wimpy to fall in, climb out,
A nice ship we had once. Hey, did you see?
and try to work out what happened.
That's the biggest buzzard I ever saw.
Olive is dropped quite suddenly onto Sindbad's isle, and Sindbad himself approaches very creepily. So Popeye drags Wimpy into action.
Come on, Wimpy, hurry up before it's too late. Into the brink.
Well, that's Popeye for you. Who else could swim 16 lengths while carrying a full-grown man in one hand like that? So they both make it ashore when Popeye sees a very threatening sign.
I will Sindbad, enter not, or whosoever passeth.
However, Wimpy is distracted when a duck appears and... Eesh, I know you're always hungry, Wimpy, but still. Well, Popeye goes on alone into another one of the Fleisch's 3D backgrounds. And a pair of guard lions.
Trying to scare me like that.
Forget being a sailor, Popeye should try being a lion tamer. So Popeye gets to Sindbad's fortress
I'm coming, Olive. I just got a little wall here.
and drills through the wall, where he finds...
Oh.
I don't know what that is, but it's probably not the Dance of the Seven Veils, because, you know, Hays Code. Popeye steps up to confront Sindbad, only for Wimpy to come back into the scene.
Oh, fouled again. I must resort to my last hamburger. Oh.
Well, I don't think Wimpy will be paying that duck back on Tuesday. Well, Popeye and Sindbad face each other, and Sindbad introduces himself. In song form!
Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow?
Well, something's supposed to come out of the gorilla's mouths. It looks like they're trying to say Sindbad the Sailor, but someone must have hit their mute button.
Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow? Who?
Popeye the Sailor.
What?
Yeah, sorry Sindbad, you're not the main character here. Well, Sindbad, in a fit of rage and ego, punches Popeye straight into the rock's talons, who then flies to a volcano to make some Kentucky Fried Sailor. Yikes! Pretty safe to say that that goose is cooked. Well, Sindbad doesn't take this lightly and throws Popeye to Bula, who does this.
Comfort to sleep, my baby kid, my peaches and cream, my baby kid.
Ouch! I am not letting that thing babysit. But then Popeye pulls the old divide and conquer on the two-headed giant.
For you like that Popeye smack our face. How do you like a bad dog? You hold that Popeye in this hand.
Yeah, that is a disadvantage to having more than one head.
Anyway, you've got bad breath. Well, it's only because you don't brush my teeth.
In his own little tussle, Bula drops Popeye, who then stubs both his feet. So he throws Popeye to a tree that falls on top of him. Ooh, that is not fair. When Popeye then knocks out both of his heads, and he goes down like an old tree in a storm. So, Sindbad goes in himself.
There's only room for one great sailor in this world. And that's me.
We're gonna come to terms right now. What do you mean, your island?
Ah, so it's like a Pokemon battle in reverse. Well, Sindbad gets an early lead by squeezing his opponent so hard that he turns him into a gammon. Or a beetroot, whatever suits ya. Well, Popeye uses the rules of rubber hose animation to turn things to his advantage, even when he's thrown to a tree.
Peekaboo. I suck you.
Great shot! Sindbad then turns the tables, practically turning Popeye into a literal punching bag.
Do you give up? What are you, a fresh guy or something? I'll show you. I can see.
Ah, here we go, the moment we've all been waiting for. Or not.
Up.
Or never mind. Sindbad kicks Popeye across the ravine and tries to stretch him out, but Popeye of course eats his greens and... Well, that's one way of demonstrating power. Popeye quickly takes an overwhelming advantage over Sindbad, kicking him like crazy and then punching him a mile back.
Whisker punch coming up. Take that.
And after a few more punches to the gut, Popeye literally sends Sindbad flying, but not before tying a coconut and a flag to his sash.
Remarkable, extraordinary fella.
And I can't agree more. So, that was Popeye meets Sindbad. And boy, have I got something to say about this one. What a way to bring Popeye into colour. The story is amazing. It may be twice the length of a standard Popeye cartoon, but I never lost interest for 1 second. And the animation is just top notch from start to finish, especially the stereoscopic backgrounds that the Fleischers love to use so much. It's little wonder then that the Library of Congress preserved it in the US Film Registry as culturally significant. So of course, this cartoon gets a score of, well, it gets the full 12 points. Basically, even if this was planned to be feature-length, I don't think it really needed to be. It's basically a perfect product as it is. If you haven't seen it already, this is the definition of a must-watch. That I can promise you. And really, was there any better way to end my second season of reviews? Well, thank you for watching. If you liked this, be sure to like and subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon to get first dibs on my new videos and to get special discounts. For now, I got a ship in the harbour that needs sailing. I can't miss it. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Do-do-do.
The most remarkable, extraordinary fellow. Sindbad the Sailor. Oh, the most phenomenal, extra special kind of fellow.